a need for some craft organization, but everything I was finding that was super functional was also super plain and boring. What is a crafter to do? Well, customize, of course, using the ScanNCut DX. So here is my plain organizer, and as you can see, it's super functional, and it's just a nice, thick, felt type material that's going to work really well. So the first thing I'm doing is getting out my vinyl, and starting with my largest piece of vinyl here, I'm going to place this down, and remember to place it transfer sheet side down so that the side that's facing up is the side you actually want to cut. Now I already know that I want the word create, and there is a fantastic built-in design here in the SDX 225 that is perfect for this. Now I will make sure to measure, and it's about 12 inches long, my design, and I want this to fill the front of it or close to it. So I am going to size this up considerably, and about 10 inches, I think, or 9.5 inches or so. Once I'm happy with this, I'm going to go ahead and set. And then I'm going to scan my mat. And the reason I'm scanning my mat is because I am going to want to see where my material is so that I can move my word accordingly. And it only takes a second. As you can see, it's almost done. Once this has been done, then you can move your material. And move your file. This is really great for using small pieces of material, most especially, or odd shapes. For example, this is all of this particular color that I had left. Now we're pushing that arrow button there because that's going to flip our word so that it's backwards. This is important because when we're doing iron-on, you're actually cutting, you're going to see the opposite or the mirror effect because you're going to flip it back over. Once we have turned on half cut, we can go ahead and cut that design out. And once it is cut out, we're going to weed. I recommend using a pick tool, such as the one I have here that's available for purchase separately, and just gently removing all the bits and pieces that you do not wish to transfer. This will leave you with just your design on the transfer sheet. And once you're done, you can go ahead and place it down with your iron and iron it on. Now what I am going to do for this, here you see it on here, and I'm just kind of mentally thinking through to myself what I want to do, and that I want buttons and some ribbons at the corners, and just kind of visualizing, is this going together the way that I want, the way that I hoped? The answer here is yes. So we are ready. We can iron on that large create, or we can get some more designs going, because I think some small vinyl designs would be really nice too. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out some small scraps of iron-on vinyl. I really try to save and use every little last bit of material and place them on my mat. They can be placed wherever, because remember, we can scan. It's in the name, ScanNCut. We can scan that in and utilize it. Then we're going to go ahead and just press home and delete that pattern and pick new patterns. I'm going to pick some stars. I'm also going to pick some flowers and hearts. And as I select these, I'm going to size them down because I'm thinking around a 1/2 inch to a little over 1 inch is the range that I want for these. But I'm just going to pick a lot of them. I'm not going to worry about placement or sizing. I will go back in and individually size to make them all a little bit different, or most of them a little bit different. I'm also going to pick the heart, as you see there. And again, I'm going to size this way down right here and increase the number just so that they are approximately in the range of size that I'm going to want for this project. I'm also going to make more than I think I need, so that if any of them don't turn out quite right, if I tear any of them because I'm not careful enough when I'm weeding my vinyl, or if I just maybe I decide I want even more, it's easier for me to have a few extras. I can always save them and use them on my next paper crafting project. So once we are good, once we like everything, then we go ahead and scan in our material so we can see where all of those little pieces are. And if you decide, guess what, I need less, you can always delete. If you decide you can fit more on your scraps of vinyl material, you can always add more. We can always go in there and add, or go into the edit screen and hit the plus button so we can plus and add more of those. And you're going to want to go ahead and put things on the areas or over the color vinyl that you want. I love that the scanning's in color because it shows me exactly what I'm doing and where it's going to go. Once you have everything the way you like it, same process, click through OK until you get to select cut. And half cut is already turned on, so we are good to cut and weed those out. And once we have done this, here you can see I'm tucking them under. So I've left the transfer material on the Create, and I'm using my iron and pressing with fabric over it, as you do. So the Create is actually put down there, but I was leaving that extra on there just to be careful so that the vinyl did not get burned. We don't want to burn our iron-on vinyl. Once we're done with the heat though, pull everything off, and then what you see me doing here is attaching buttons with some thread. Just needle and thread in and out through there and through the buttons, and then tie a knot off on the back side once you're all the way done. You could also tie the buttons another way so that the knot is on the front of each button and the ends are tied on the front. That's another really fun way to do it. Another thing I'm going to do is take my needle and thread and attach some ribbons at the corners, just because I think it will look really cute and be fun to have kind of some ribbon accents there at the corner. This is my craft tote after all, and I want to have a lot of fun with it. There's really nothing special here that you need to do, just pushing the needle and thread back and forth through. And then I'm actually tying a knot when I'm all the way done down at the bottom underneath so that everything is held together really nice and firmly. I'll also tell you that I did attach buttons and vinyl onto the two sides of my container. My little organizer here is going to sit against a wall, so I didn't decorate the back and I didn't want buttons scratching up against the wall. But if yours was not, or if it was going to move around, you certainly could decorate the back. And you can decorate all of the sides, you can decorate some of the sides. Exactly how much or how little you do will be completely personal preference. Once you are all done, guess what? It is time to go ahead and fill it up and enjoy crafting with the tote that your ScanNCut helped you create and decorate and customize. Now, one last note here on this project. This would be a great place to use one of these pockets to store your excess die cuts from your ScanNCut. If you have any extras, if you have anything left over that you would like to have storage for, this kind of a container is great for little bits and pieces. It'll hold them all nice for you, and it's pretty to look at too. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this craft tutorial. Be sure to subscribe to the Brother YouTube channel to get even more crafty tutorials and fun. I'll see you next time.